You sit home and say, I can't do this. I have no help. You sit home and say, oh, I can't go because this. You make up excuses because off of one thing somebody said to you one time and it hurt deep. And it hurt deep because it may have been some truth to it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Tuesday podcast. This is Cris Cavallari. The to-do list is never ending. I remember when I worked retail and I overheard someone say, there's always something to do. And as a kid, you're like, I'm bored or I'm this. And it's like, there's always something that needs to get done. And this week, as I was recording last week, something came up and I had to stop. And then this week, something came up and I had to stop. And it's so crazy because I want to tell you something. There's somebody right now that is watching this and you don't understand the enemy's plans to distract you. Whether that be you waking up in the morning and before you even set your intentions, you're on Instagram, you're checking a text message to see who didn't or who did call you or who, is so many things taking your day and your purpose for hostage. This is a season that you snatch your energy back, you snatch your attention. We get so distracted just in everyday life. You're on the phone, and I want to also tell you something. You're on the phone, and this is going on, and this is going on. There's great interruptions. Like you're about to tell somebody your business, and then the phone dies, or this happens, and then you call them back, and you're like, damn, what was I about to say? Nothing. That was divine intervention for you to hang up, to start the conversation over, to just play dumb like you know what? That was the warning. I actually had to start this podcast over. This episode had to be started over because the phone is ringing and this is going on and this is going on. And it made me lose my train of thought. And I remember I could press reset. I can start over. I got up. I'm starting over. I am not going to let a small distraction take me away from what I'm supposed to deliver today. A lot of us get distracted and we don't come back from it. A lot of us have been distracted for years. You're thinking about who did what and why they did it. You don't need to know why they did it. You know they did it. Their mask fell off. Back on. Do not go back to replay why me and why, because it was meant to distract you. And the thing is, the enemy will use those closest to you. Just like they say, there's no thief going into an empty house, right? When we think about, all these stories and you hear certain things, the people that, betray you and distract you the most are the people that get closest to you. Because you're not thinking that it would be them. The thing is, it's not them. They are a host. They are being used to these things and they don't even know. The discernment is up to you. In friendship and dating, we really need in business. We need to start saying, we need to start asking for clarity. We need to really get focused on the things that are taking up space. Yes, we're clearing out inventory. We're moving things around. We're rearranging. We're rebranding. But we have to take inventory of our mind as well. What things no longer serve us? I was watching this podcast, not a podcast. It was just a YouTube video. And this lady literally said, they sold you out. So now you about to show out. God has given you the green light to show out. And I chuckled because this week, and I'm going to be honest, every night and every morning, I'm calling back my power from places that I didn't know it was being held up at, from people that I didn't know that was over there sipping off of it. And I'm just feeling depleted and drained and I can't focus on the things that I need to do because I'm so distracted. This is the 4th year for Is It Tuesday podcast. I started in 2020. COVID happened, this happened. My schedule changed abruptly. This is, one thing I will tell you. The devil doesn't have new tricks. People don't understand that. You don't understand that. The things that come to distract you, they're the same things in different forms and different people and different things. And that's the thing. Once we realize the people are just the host, it is the same motherfucking thing. You'll be able to move forward and shake. Sometimes Goliath and I are playing a sport, and I know nothing about sports, but I have a son. And he's 7. And in his DNA, he is going to, he thrives, and he's a great athlete, okay? He got that from the other side. And it's crazy because now that I'm learning these plays with him, because I have to, it's my responsibility to learn the things that he's into so I can help him, so I can nurture him, so I can help him develop. Now, am I an athlete? No. Am I kind of athletic? Yeah. But do I know the game? No. But I'm studying it right now. So when he says I'm a juke you, and that means that, he's doing one of these, I know that that's the same thing that is happening in my life when the phone rings, when this happens, when I forget to press record, and you've done so much and you realize, oh my gosh, wait a minute, let me start studying. Every area of my life now I could see how the puzzle fits. I could see how those things over there distract me, but it was really because I had lack of boundaries. The more that I got out of victim mode, that someone's doing something to me, instead of looking at it as, this is happening for me. This is happening for me. And it may not happen when I want it to happen. I may not understand it while it's happening. But when you sit back and you say, oh, what? I just got to study what's in front of me. I have to study the things that are often coming up to distract me from my purpose. A lot of people, what's my purpose? What's this? You don't think that this is your purpose because it seems minute to everyone else. It is what comes so naturally to you. I've always been a helper. I've always been a giver. So even when people sold me out after I showed up for them, I always knew that those blessings would come back. There's a saying that I say, and I'm sure everybody else says it as well. I'm not, the creator of this, but my blessings come from a place that no one can take. There's nobody that could stop me. They may be able to get in your mind, and the thing is, when they get in your mind, you stop you. They plant a seed, and you sit home and you water it. You sit home and say, I can't do this. I have no help. You sit home and say, oh, I can't go because this. You make up excuses because off of one thing somebody said to you one time, and it hurt deep. And it hurt deep because it may have been some truth to it. But once you study those things, right, the triggers are going to come. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to press reset. You're going to have to stop. You're going to have to do this. Someone's going to try to throw a monkey wrench in the game. You got to be able to juke that shit. I've been intentional every night before bed, and I say what I'm going to do the next day. And because my phone is so dry, I don't have to look to see who texted me. I don't have to look at any of Instagram could wait. I could listen to my shows on my way to work, but I've been getting out of the house on time. I've been doing what I needed to do for these last couple of weeks, and I'm like surprised, but it was just because I lacked discipline and boundaries. A lot of us you remember back in the day, I don't know how old y'all are, but because people don't do this anymore, but you remember people like, call off of work, I'll pay you for the day. How many of y'all called off of work? What about you called off of work and that was your last strike and now you fired? Someone may pay you for the day, but what are they going to do for the days to come and the weeks to come? We're done with putting off on our purpose. We're done with doing things that do not align with where we're going. I have a vision for my life, and anything that does not look like that vision, it's a distraction. Anything that keeps me away from my to-do list, the intentions that I set the day before, is a distraction. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it is. The other day, unfortunately, my sister had to put down her dog, and it's our family dog, but this is her companion, and she's had Brooklyn for 13 years. And it was very difficult. And over, where God has me at in this mode, I've silenced noise on all ends. But when I got that news that this is the situation, I dropped immediately and was there for my sister, because that's what family should do. Not only did I show up for my sister, I had to show up for my son. I had to say to my son, like, hey, there's another abrupt change going on. And I was so proud of me for having the opportunity, but not missing the opportunity to explain to him over the last couple of years and months and things like that, with all the changes that are going on. I noticed that if I stayed distracted, I would not be able to guide. If I didn't heal, I would just be passing on certain traumas. And it sounds so minute, especially, to a person that doesn't have a pet, right? I was able to give my son something that he has been struggling with. Before a pet, was taken away and he didn't get to say goodbye. He lost his fish. His fish passed away. One thing about goldfish, baby, I wish we could figure out how to make these little motherfuckers live just a little bit longer. Okay, it's very devastating. Do not buy your kid a goldfish. They're gonna be heartbroken, and it's just like they're not at the age where they understand. But now I see the way that him and I are home, and we're talking about transitioning and ancestors and things like that. And he knows that physically, yes, they're not here, but they are always here. Energy doesn't die. Spirits move on. We were able to have a conversation, and I was able to let him know. I was able to let him say goodbye without just saying, oh, she's gone. And when I think about children, and my child, to be exact, my daughter's almost 25. That's a different topic on another day, but it's a topic that is going to be difficult to talk about. Like a lot of mothers, the questions that I get about talking about adult kids, I'm like, baby, I'm not sure if I'm ready for it because I'm still processing it. But what I know now as a full adult, as a healed and healing, because healing is linear. Like it's not just a one time, oh, I'm healed, I'm fine, oh, thank you. No, it's every day unlearning and learning and healing and, just all these things and being like, oh my gosh, I was drinking from the Kool-Aid, I'm out the matrix. You still, once you get out and you realize everything was a fucking lie, everything was a Truman Show, now everything is questionable, right? So when I'm moving now, and now that I know that my son is here to guide me, because I know that my inner child is healing, why I am making sure that I'm doing my part with him. When we talked about the pet dying, when we talked about what our day looks like, when we said this, that, and the third, and that night, you know what? He didn't go with us when we went and laid Brooklyn to rest, but I picked him up, and before I got to him, he said, "Hey, did Brooklyn get to eat her chocolate?" Because he knows that dogs can't have chocolate, and he wanted to give her last treat. I said, "Yeah." And he broke down, and I went to get him immediately. We went home, we ate dinner. Then I said, we're gonna go for a swim.
For so many, many years, we were told that only white people were beautiful. Only straight hair, light eyes, light skin was beautiful. And so black women would try everything they could, straighten their hair, lighten their skin, to look as much like white women. But this has changed because black people are aware.
Packed our bag. We went to the YMCA and we did some laps. When we first got there, I said, listen, because I'm intentional. I'm intentional, y'all. When we get to this gym, I am working out for 20 minutes. You're going to go to the kiddie area and play. I am working out. I drop him off at the kids center. I tell the guy 30 minutes. I said, hey, I'm going to the gym. I'm getting on a Stairmaster. I need to blow the steam. I need to get mentally, like I am war ready. And because I'm choosing peace at a lot of places of my life is why I'm granted to move to the next step. Because I decided, most people think that when you decide to surrender, that you look weak. You cannot fight a war with someone that to be honest, these motherfuckers is more skilled than you because they're in a lower frequency than you. There's no stopping how far someone will go. So you and your good heart will end up being just like them. They'll never be like you. You'll be just like them. When you get in the mud and wrestle with pigs, you're dirty. We went for a swim. We went and cleansed. The fact that I am now in a place where when things get tough, I can show my son how to release. I can show my son how to replenish himself. I can say, whoop, we went for a swim. We cleansed our bodies. We cleansed our minds. We went to bed. We slept great. Like, it's crazy how setting those intentions for yourself will set your kids up for a better them. They see you. Now we know kids are sponges. So yes, they're going to see you have days. I seen somewhere before the mom is like, I can't cry. I have kids. I'm like, so now you're teaching them not to cry. No, you can. You show them how you get back. You show them that, hey, yes, this did hurt, but this is this and this is that. And it was just a beautiful day. And everything flows. Everything flows when there's intentions behind your day. I have a lot to do. You have a lot to do. This was a quick episode because I had to stop, but I'm intentional about my days. Even if this is a recap, even if this is just a friendly reminder that after you watch this episode, I want you to know tonight, set your intentions. Set your intentions before you go to bed. Listen to some mantras, listen to some water sounds, do whatever you need to do to replenish and get that shit out your system. Because what it is you're so busy pouring into these people that are not pouring back into you. You have to pour into you. You have to be a little bit more stingy with your time. The people that used to be like, call off work and you call off work, what are we going to do when you get fired? You can't, come on now. We can't depend on a lot of things, but you can depend on you. If you have children looking up at you, watching you, don't hide your emotions and your feelings. Go through that. Feel your feels and show them how to regain their power. Show them how to, a big thing. Goliath will see me in a prayer room. I'm like, I got to sit here for like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. You want to come in here with me and pray? Or you want to come over here or, whatever. Anything that it is, that ritual that you do to get you back to you, that is what we're focusing on this year. I'm going to be consistent. Because even when I was playing, but I was consistent, shit got done. Even with the distractions, look at my hands. This means I mean business. With everything and everyone the enemy has sent my way has only been a step for me to get closer and closer to my higher self. It showed me how to master my emotions. It showed me how to handle things without my heart and my mind being at war. I don't do tug of war anymore. We're not fighting ourselves anymore. We are seeing things with our real eyes. We are seeing things with our once you up, you can't go back to sleep. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for this little recap. With all that has happened this week, it has showed me that no matter what has happened in my life, my compassion, my empathy, my heart has not changed. And forever, I will be grateful for that. If whatever you're grateful for this week, leave a comment below. It could be something small. I was driving here today. My mother, when she called to interrupt, she said, don't forget to get gas. And she probably seen my story, but she just called me like, don't forget to get gas. I filled my tank up. That is a blessing. There was a time that you could only put 15 on pump 3. There's a time that you could only put 5 on pump 4. There was a time that your account was in overdraft. And if I'm the only one, then that's cool. I'll tell you, there was a time where you could not do this and that. And how blessed are we to have the opportunity to really see the smallest things and be grateful for it. Using our hands, using our taste buds, our eyes, our vision. Every day is a master reset. Every day. once you decide to stop living in that broken record, in that cycle, you'll see how God is ready to flood. Like get ready for overflow. All right. I'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.